Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe. Different background for me. I'm out of town right now at the moment, but I got my boy Angel on the other side holding it down in the H-Town. Let him know
How
what's
they
up.
do? How they do? How they do?
This series against the St. Louis Cardinals, the Redbirds, they were plucked. And we're not saying like pluckers plucked, but they were plucked from their wings because the Astros offense was astronomical, honestly. The way the boys were hitting the ball, I mean, Altuve, Abreu, Tucker, Bregman, the whole offense. I mean, it was remarkable to see finally that, after a game that they scored 10 runs, the next game they could do the same thing, but even better, they scored 14 runs. But in the first game, of course, of this series, it didn't look too good. Framber didn't have his stuff. And then even the second game, you could say the same thing as well because of Christian Javier. I mean, it was another rough outing for him, but the bullpen backed him up. The offense continued, and it just continued on to that third game as well. So, Angel, describe it to me. Give me this one word or two words, whatever many words you want to say about this offense and the series overall against the Cardinals.
Well, in honor of the Redbirds being plucked, I'm gonna go with two. I'm gonna say plucking awesome for our boys over there at Pluckers. Uh, you know, I'm gonna go hit them up for a sponsorship real quick. Get us paid with the wings.
Go
But
go
no,
go get a flavor of the game kind of thing.
no, but yeah, no, it was a good series overall. Again, the curse has been broken. I know it. I've seen the Astro superstition fans out there. Every time the Astros score 10 runs, they can't score any runs the next game, but the curse has been lifted. The baseball gods are once again on the Astros' favor. So it was a great series. And then ending it on a shutout, on a high note, when they're going to go against the first place Texas Rangers. That's going to be a big series, and we'll talk about that in a bit. That series, the Astros have to come out with 3 out of 4 on that one to cut that deficit at least a little bit in half, because the Rangers did lose to the Detroit Tigers twice because
Detroit Tigers.
AJ Hinch still holding it down for the H Town, uh, and helping Houston out whenever he can. So it was a great series, a lot of highs, very little lows. But let's start with the shoutouts.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of shout outs, of course, the offense, but I want to give out two really from this past series. I mean, first off, I'm going to start off with Jose Abreu. I mean, this guy continued to hit, and the reset looks like it was very, it was excellent because if everybody remembered, then 3 days he had days off, and it was because of quote unquote, it was called a reset for him just to clear his mind. And really, I mean, he looks really good at the plate. He looks comfortable. He looks like the Jose Abreu that the Astros wanted when he was with the Chicago White Sox. I mean, 4 for 11, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, collected his 900 career RBI as well. This month of June, he's just tearing it up, dude. And I mean, we still got what, one more day of June, or yeah, one more day. And right now he's hitting 293, 313, 522 slash line, 835 OPS, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. This is the guy that the Astros wanted to get when it came to free agency and to, get that guy at first base because Yuli Gurriel, the Astros didn't know what the future was for him because of his age. And even Astro fans outside of management, Twitter, social media, all them other people were thinking about, well, his age too. He's already getting older. I don't know if he's going to be that same guy. I mean, in the beginning, it doesn't look like it, but right now in this month of June, he looks very, very comfortable at the plate. I mean,
Yeah,
huge adjustment. Alex Intron as well. So huge shout out to Jose Abreu getting everything back into place.
yeah, especially with guys that have a track record like Jose Abreu, again, Silver Slugger, MVP. It's just time.
Mhm.
Like if you look at his swing, there's a lot of moving pieces, especially when the ball's coming. Like as soon as he's those like loads up, his hands are moving a lot. So it's all about getting that timing and getting that muscle memory in the rhythm of of hitting. So it looks like he found all of those and putting it together because he has been great as late. And again, those June hot months bring out the hot hitters, but guess what's even hotter? July is even hotter, so we might see
Mhm.
even Jose Abreu at his hottest this season yet.
Yeah, record breaking numbers in Houston with the weather right now. It's I'm pretty sure in the whole state of Texas, but I know Houston for sure. I mean, there's a heat index almost to 105, 111. My
Yeah, it's
gosh, y'all stay
terrible.
hydrated out there. But my next one is gonna be Jose Altuve too. And it just proved that second game with, the first game they didn't have him in the lineup because of the sore heel, but these back-to-back games that he played in looked fantastic. 3 for 5, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 5 walks. That's another thing right there. That game on Wednesday night, he was on base, the whole time on his at bats. Drew a lot of walks this series. That means he's looking at the ball pretty well, not chasing at anything. And that's the Altuve that likes to go at that first pitch or even that high rising fastball. So shout out to him because that second game it could have been bad and the Astros couldn't have won that game. It could have been a serious loss. But with Altuve in the lineup, I think everybody looks a little bit more comfortable. Everybody's very excited to see him back.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It was just an all around offensive, presence there.
Hmm.
Like it could, we could have shouted out plenty of other people like Cal Tucker, Alex
Yes,
Bregman, but just to limit the two, like again, it was a great offensive showing. But let's give the guys who are grinding each day and every out. Let's talk about the bullpen. I feel like the bullpen sometimes doesn't get enough
yeah,
love. So let's start with Sean Dubin. Sean Dubin's a young
Dubin,
buck. Yeah, he can be called Doobie too. Dubin, Dubon,
Doobie
kind of
Doobie,
similar.
yeah,
Yeah, but the young buck Sean Dubon, Sean Dubin, I almost caught
all
him.
right, gonna call him Dubon.
All right, I was close. I was close. Sean Dubin, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He came in when it was a struggling Framber Valdez, I believe. Or was it Christian Javier?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
no, it was Christian Javier. Christian Javier.
Christian Javier, a struggling Christian Javier, and he came in and limited the damage for sure. He even gave the Astros a chance to you know come back in that game, and they ended up
Yeah.
doing it right. So he kept it down, so the lead doesn't expand, and you saw what happened. Seth Martinez as well, 1 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 1 strikeout. And then of course Brian Abreu, 1 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Now I'm also gonna add this other guy. I know he wasn't on our outline, but the shutout Rafael Montero came in his third game after JP France's outstanding outing. Right, he
Shout out to
pitched
him as well.
two innings,
Hmm.
no walks, no hits, no runs, and 1 strikeout. This is what we were
That's
talking about
clutch.
last time about Rafael Montero, where the only way he's going to get out of his struggles is by pitching. And this was a
Hmm.
perfect opportunity for Dusty Baker to put him in. It was a low leverage situation. I think it was a 7 run lead. Like, if he allows 3 runs, so be it, right? And you saw what he could do. You saw why the Astros paid him that money, right? Because he can get outs in tough situations, and that's exactly what he did. Again, that Cardinals lineup is nothing to like joke around with. Like when you have
Hmm.
Goldschmidt, Arenado, even like the young guys, Lars Nootbaar, Brandon Donovan, they could all hit. Like they're all
Hmm.
professional hitters, and it was a step in the right direction for Rafael Montero.
Yeah, I mean, like you hit it on the button, dude, because that's what the Astros are going to have to continue doing, just giving him them low leverage situations. Yeah, so what? It was 7 runs, 10 plus runs that he came in and pitched, but that's the only way you're going to make this guy get his confidence back, I say. Because if you put him in a situation like if the Astros are losing, I'm not winning by 2, and you're putting him in that situation right now, it could be a little risky. It could be a rocky situation for him himself. But something like this, I think you just gradually kind of, get better and get better when the time goes on.
Yeah, and right now we're gonna move on to Astros injury and GM updates. At the moment, the Astros are on pace to win 88 games, which is not bad considering all the injuries
Mhm.
that has happened to the Astros this season. And honestly, like it's looking with 88 wins, the Astros are gonna be competing for that division, maybe even a wild card spot
A wild card.
or battling first place. So I know the Astros fans yeah, like I've been blessed with not having to compete for the division. Like Astros have been so dominant, but this is what it's all about. Like when it comes to late August, September, every pitch, every game, every at bat's gonna matter. It just makes it a little bit more exciting, a little bit more competitive. But in lieu of all these injuries, we do have some injury updates. The Astros are close to being 100%, and making something interesting happen later in the season. So let's start off with Jordan Alvarez. He hit off a T Wednesday, soft toss in the cage. Again, that oblique injury can be very painful, but also very tricky. because you might be feeling good one day and then the next day comes back. So um,
Hmm.
he's heading on the right direction by hitting off the tee and soft tossing the cage. Michael Brantley, he hit on the field Tuesday, hitting the cage and fielding balls in that field Wednesday. Dusty Baker said Brantley could face Urquidy in IVP next week in Houston. Again, all steps in the right direction. Now, the reason with Brantley, I feel like it's of his age. You don't want to rush him too much, or anything like that, because you want him to be ready, be healthy. He's a veteran, so he knows about his body a little bit more. Do you have anything to add about those two guys?
Yeah, just take their time. That's all I'm gonna say because the All Star break's coming up. Alvarez, I don't believe he got in because Aaron Judge might
Mhm.
try. Well, we'll talk about the starters that's going to be presented in a minute. I mean, I might lie actually. I think Alvarez did make it, but as a reserve, and he could have been as a reserve
Oh
because you
yeah,
get the top
could
three
be.
were starters, and he could have been the reserve. But anyway, he ain't gonna go to Seattle. I don't think none of the guys are gonna go to Seattle. Maybe Framber Valdez being the only lone Astro, but
Brandon Bray,
Alvarez
I
and
believe so
Brantley,
too.
oh yeah, the bullpen guys, the starters. But them two guys that you were talking about though, Alvarez and Brantley, take their time. I wouldn't even rush them back. I'd say just have them back at the All Star break.
Yeah, 100% agree. And it'll be interesting once they're both in the lineup to see how they mix and match the lineup. I know Dusty likes changing it up, giving guys days off. Like he's the players' coach. Making sure they're good and ready to go. Let's talk about pitching now. We got Jose Urquidy. He threw 25 pitches in the bullpen Tuesday, hitting 92 and 93 miles per hour, which is a big step for sure. He was usually around 87, 88 while throwing in the bullpen, so this uptick in velocity is really, really good. He said he had no issues and would throw one more bullpen before facing hitters. So Urquidy told Brian McTaggart he feels good after throwing in the bullpen Wednesday as well. So I think Urquidy's close. I think they're just monitoring him.
Yeah,
He's going to definitely see some rehab assignments in the minors, but he's close, so which is good because this rotation is kind of depleting. And as you
depleting.
saw, like they've been not overworked. Again, it's a long taxing season, so there's gonna be stretches where they just uh can't do it right. So having
Hmm.
a fresh guy who's coming off an injury, his arms a little bit fresher, less tax, so that'll be pretty good. But now let's talk about Dana Brown. This was on Sports Talk 790. This was on Wednesday, and then the big focus on the conversation was the trade deadline, especially because
Hmm.
as you see the struggles and not to throw anything off Blind Madrid, but when you had to bring Blind Madrid in that basic lower situation, it just shows how depleted that um, roster is.
Okay.
Go
Question
ahead.
before we move on to that:
Yeah.
would have you pitch hit Jose Altuve in that situation with bases loaded? And I
Well,
think
if
the guy was struggling too,
if he's having that hip injury, I would give him um that day off. But you also had Jake Myers in the bullpen, on the
and
dugout
the
as well.
on the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, on the bench. So, and that's like again, Blas Madrid is a professional player. I'm sure he's been in that spots in many situations.
Hmm.
But at that moment, I would feel like Jake Myers would have been a better choice for that one. Um,
I mean, he
it-
did good the next game too. Actually,
yeah,
he
yeah,
did
yeah.
get
So
two hits. So
again, he's a professional hitter.
nothing against him.
Yeah, 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 he's a professional hitter. I believe like if he's getting that shot again, he'll come through. Like
Hmm.
like I didn't want to talk bad about these guys. Like they're all great
Yeah,
guys.
nothing negative.
I don't want to take anything away from them. Like again, they're all great hitters, but it's just that experience does matter at times. And I think Jake Myers has been in a situation a little bit more than Blam Madrid. I think that would have been a little bit more.
Hmm.
But I guess I saw something on the matchup. Maybe the left-handers hit that pitch a little bit more. But you know, I mean, he did give up. He did put up a good at bat, so that was on the bright spot.
Hmm.
But going back to what Dana Brown was saying, so the first question, well, not the first question, but one of the questions they asked Dana Brown was, he was asked about taking a rental at the deadline. This was his response. Yeah, we'll take a rental. We'll take a big bat to add to Jordan and Brantley when they get back. We'll also look for a good arm to get us over the hump. The next question. Dana Brown talking about sense of urgency with the team. His response: our plan is not to panic. Stay the course, do what we do, and chase down the Texas Rangers. And then lastly, Dana Brown. The question was Dana Brown on the stage of the trade market. This is what he said. Right now, there's not much on the shelf. Hopefully, as we get closer to the deadline, there's going to be more opportunities. Make no mistake, we'll try to be active at the deadline to acquire what we need. We're not in the business of throwing away our top prospects for rentals. So I was going to ask you, what needs to be addressed at the deadline, looking at this first half?
I'm gonna say starting pitcher is going to be the first one, I think. Nothing against Hunter Brown, nothing against Jose Urquidy, nothing against Ronell or even Brandon Bielek and JP France. Nothing against those guys. But if the Astros are going to want to make a big, big push going back to back World Series champions, they're going to have to get a starting pitcher. And I don't know if it's going to be the Shane Beavers, the Dylan Ceases, the Eduardo Rodriguez's. I don't know if you need a big, big time ace, but you're going to need a big time arm that doesn't kind of struggle, being the top stage like in the postseason, because that's where the Astros are usually are in the postseason, and that's where you need the guys to be. Number one, number two is going to be Framber and Christian Javier at home, depending where if they get the top seed. And if they don't, I mean, you still got your two guys going out there, but you're going to need that number three guy. JP France has been doing a great job at it, but I
Hunter
feel
Brown
like a
too.
veteran, yeah, Hunter Brown too, but that veteran experience I think is going to be very crucial. And somebody like a Marcus Stroman that plays with so much energy, or any of those guys that I had mentioned earlier too, I feel like it's going to help the Astros a lot. But like Dana Brown said, you don't want to give up your top prospects for him.
Yeah,
I really doubt Drew Gilbert's going to be dealt. Maybe Pedro Leon, maybe Corey Lee. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But if they're going to want to go get those kind of guys, there's going to be something like that. But I know for sure. I feel 100% confident that I don't think Drew Gilbert's going to be touched.
that was an interesting comment of Dana Brown, and one that
Mm-hmm.
really got me thinking. It's like, or since we're not in the business of throwing away our top prospects, like you were mentioning. So what that got what that got me thinking is we might see one of those outfielders moved, either Corey
Yeah.
Jokes, Jake Myers, even Chas McCormick. Um, and I get it, because what if you don't win the World Series this year, right? What if you don't?
Mm-hmm.
And then you gave up so much for Renzo. Look at the Nationals, what happened to them. Look at the Red
Yeah.
Sox, what's happening to them. Even there's one more team I lost on top of my head, but um, I feel like the Braves and the Astros, from the teams that won the World Series of late, those are the teams
I
that
mean, the Dodgers too.
yeah, I
Like
got
you
that
can't
Dodgers.
forget
Like
about them. They've
those
been
are the
doing good.
teams that have not lost their stride, and the reason is because they don't give away their top prospects for rentals, or if they do, those guys that they get, they re-sign them for big contracts. Like that's the difference between um, teams like that and teams like the Nationals and Red Sox. So I feel like one of the outfielders is going to be moved. It's just who at this point we don't know.
And then
But
what? Let me add something too
go
to
ahead.
that too. The Astros have a bunch of outfielding depth in their farm system as well. You
Mhm.
got Drew Gilbert, you got Jacob Melton, Colin Barber, Ryan Clifford, and those guys are top 10 prospects actually in the farm system right now. So, I mean, like you were saying, they could trade Corey Jokes, Jake Myers, Chas McCormick, and then you got the rest of these. Hey, Pedro Leon's an outfielder too. I mean, the Astros got a lot of outfield depth, and that's probably like you were saying, there could be a possibility that one of the guys that are in the Astros roster right now will be moved at the deadline.
And then another thing that stood out is when he said, "Right now, there's not much on the shelf," and I get that,
Mm-hmm.
because now that the Major League Baseball extended to three wild card spots, and the like, for example, just the AL Central the way it is, like these divisions are a lot closer with this
Mm-hmm.
new schedule where they're not playing each other a lot. They're playing around the league. Like I feel like teams sense that they have a chance now. Like they have a chance
Yeah,
to be competitive. They have a chance to earn that third spot. So I feel teams are going to be less likely to be sellers. So it's going to be a thin market and a lot of teams trying to buy. So it's like, like that supply and demand type of thing, right? There's like this, the supply is less, the demand is high. So these teams are going to be giving up a lot. But my question to you is, if the New York Mets fall off the division, do you see the likes of Max Scherzer or Verlander or a few like starting Marte moved this trade deadline?
that's crazy too with Steve. I don't know if people had heard that conversation
Yeah,
with Steve Cohen too. I know you're about pretty sure you could have talked about it right now, but getting off that track, I don't think Justin Verlander will come back to Houston. I mean, that contract's just a
It's
lot.
too high.
I wouldn't want to eat that like I personally, if I was the Astros general manager, I wouldn't want to get that contract. Max Scherzer, on the other hand, it's kind of Mad Max is not the Mad Max like you get me because last year he struggled. Even in 2019, the World Series, if you remember the Astros playing against him, I mean, the Astros hit off of him pretty good. So it's like them two guys, they are going to be future Hall of Famers. But at the age and the stage that they're at right now, yes, they're great pitchers. They're 100% great pitchers. I'm pretty sure that could be the number one, number two guys on any other staff, especially on the Oakland Athletics. But bringing them to, I wouldn't. I
Speaking
couldn't see the Astros doing that.
speaking of the Oakland Athletics, you know who's gonna be a good guy to pick up? JP Sears.
JP Sears, yeah, no, and then a lefty too. We didn't. You were talking
Yeah.
about, who they need to get. They could get a power bat, and that's going to be a lefty hitter. Seth Brown's one of those guys over there in Oakland. Yes, he hasn't had a good season this year, but last year, I mean, his numbers were great. And then plus with the shift, kind of, well, the shift being banned this past year, he was supposed to have great numbers, but has yet to shown. But yeah, but the
Okay.
Astros, I'd say a starting pitcher, a bat, a lefty, kind of quote unquote, and maybe a reliever. It just depends on how Rafael Montero continues to pitch. I'd say.
And not just him, like this
Well, yeah,
bullpen is
the
kind
rest
of
of the staff too.
taxed. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like we saw Presley kind of shaky already. We saw Ray kind of shaky already. You know, Mayton kind of shaky sometimes. But again, these
Hmm.
guys have a track record. I feel like once October comes, it's a different gear they put. But again, it's better to be safe than sorry sometimes.
Yeah, it is. But October's coming soon. After the All Star break, it's just gonna go like that, dude. I'm telling you. Um, just from August, as soon as it hits August, you can already smell October. And that team right now that is smelling October is the Texas Rangers. So we're gonna preview that matchup right now. And the Rangers are 49-32. Like Angel had said, they lost the series against the Detroit Tigers, I believe. I know Detroit beat them yesterday, but I want to say they lost the series against the
Yeah.
Tigers. Not 100% sure. But they are the first in the AL West. You got to give credit where it's due. They've done a fantastic job, Bruce Bochy and his staff, doing what they can over there. With this, without Jacob DeGrom either, dude. That's the other thing too. So give credit where it's due, and they've been a good team. Marcus Simeon, Corey Seager, them two being the biggest acquisitions 2 years ago. It's just looked so great so far for them this year. But 5-5 in their last 10 games. And Friday night, Ronel Blanco, 7:05 start time, 1-0 with a 4.63 ERA versus John Gray. He is 6-3 with a 2.89 ERA. That is very shocking to me because John Gray was never a consistent pitcher when he was over there in Colorado and then his first 2 years with the Texas Rangers. So very interesting to see that. But Ronel Blanco has done a fantastic job in getting that bounce back start against the Dodgers. He went 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. That's a quality start in the book as well. I think Blanco, the Rangers haven't seen Blanco. I think this is a great opportunity too to continue on doing your success and build off of what you did over there in LA and doing it in Texas. So it's going to be a fun matchup. John Gray, on the other hand, last outing against the Washington Nationals, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He did face Houston a couple of months, I believe, in April, but he was out. He only pitched 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. If everybody remember, Yanier Diaz hit a line drive right at him that hit him, I believe, in the elbow or in the forearm, and that thing swelled up quick. But it was forced to get him out of the game. But we will probably see. This would be a decent matchup, I'd say. Because Ronald Blanco, like I said, Texas Rangers haven't seen him. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to do whatever they can to look at the scouting report over him. But Ronald did a fantastic job at Dodger Stadium. I could see another good start coming into Globe Life Field. Saturday, we got Hunter Brown, 3:05 start time actually, 6'4", 3.62 ERA versus a good old-fashioned guy from Texas, Alvin, Texas native, Nathan Uvalde, 9-3 with a 2.82 ERA. And Hunter Brown, great start that he did against the Dodgers. He had a quality start. I believe he only allowed 1 earned run. I don't got the stat on me right now. That's a poor job on my part. But yeah, I mean, as long as he has that command, like you were saying, Angel, before, and we talked about it, as long as he has that curveball working, he's going to find success. Nathan Uvalde, on the other hand, I mean, the Astros have seen him a bunch of times from the Boston games, man. I mean, them were some critical games that he pitched against the Astros in the 18 ALCS, even in the 2021 ALDS, or I believe ALCS, actually. Sorry about that. Last outing at the Yankees, New York Yankees, he went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. His last outing at Houston did a good job too, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 0 of them being earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. So I saw this was very interesting to me because he's always been a four-seam guy, but his next best pitch is a split finger, and it had increased dramatically. I mean, 2022, he was throwing this thing 20.9% of the time, and it was a huge increase, being about 7 to 8%. 2023, 28.1%, and that his second best pitch as well. He has the second most strikeouts coming from that pitch, 23.1% put away pitch as well. Angel, how are the Astros going to attack Uvalde? Like I said, these guys have seen Uvalde a bunch of times, especially Bregman, if you remember that, putting on his iPad, looking at him hitting that home run against Uvalde. How the Astros are going to continue having success, and even Uvalde too has had success against the Astros.
Yeah, Uvalde is a great guy. He's going to be an all-star this year. He's
Mm-hmm.
been great, but I feel the way you attack him is be aggressive on that fastball. He throws it a lot. He's actually thrown it 593 times. His next closest pitch is a split finger for 433 times. Like, that fastball is what he relies on. Now, easier said than done. The batting average on the
Yeah.
fastball is 227, which is a win for the pitcher, right? But again, I'm looking at it like, his fastball command where it's at. It's usually out over the plate. So his plan is to overpower you with that fastball and then set up that split finger or that curveball or even to cut it, right? To throw you off. So
Mm-hmm.
attack the fastball early, get ahead, you know, get ahead of him before you fall behind in the count, because then that's when he starts mixing in those off speed pitches. So that is my way to attack Ivaldi. If you see that fastball right there, try to take a hack at it. Don't wait for anything else.
Yeah, that fastball and split finger combo is going to be nasty. I think if you throw that fastball down and in, and then you come back with that split finger down and in, that's just two different arm slots and two different drops. I mean, that's going to be nasty. But yeah, like you're saying, take advantage of that fastball. Jeremy Pena, I'm talking about you because you had swung and missed on some fastballs. But hey, you're going to do better on this one. Sunday, and this is okay. I didn't even get to mention this, dude. This is a weird series, four
Oh
game
yeah,
series. Friday,
this
Saturday,
is
Sunday,
new.
Monday.
This
It's
is
very
new
new,
because
and we're having.
I noticed it. Sorry, I noticed it like a while back where I think it was the Red Sox and the Yankees. They were playing like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I thought the series was over, and then they're playing Monday. I was like, oh well, sorry about that.
No, a very different series. I just wanted to get that out the way. I forgot to just say that in the beginning. Could have saved it to the end, but I mean, it was just
My
so
bad, my
shocking
bad.
to see that. No, you're good. Sunday, 1:35 start time. Brian McTaggart had tweeted out to be determined for Sunday and Monday, and then days are usually Framber Valdez and Christian Javier. Not 100% sure, but I'm gonna roll the dice, and I'm gonna say Framber Valdez is still gonna pitch that day. So we'll continue that matchup. We'll continue the Christian Javier matchup. Valdez, 7-6, 2.49 ERA versus Andrew Heaney, 5-5 with a 4.38 ERA. Valdez last outing, if you all remembered looking at that game at St. Louis, it was not his best start. He struggled bad. Command wasn't there. A lot of hard hits off of him too. Give credit to the Cardinals; they hit off of him pretty hard. 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. I do see a bounce back game from Framber Valdez because when Valdez allows something like this, and when you look at him after the game, he just does not look happy, and he just not happy. Valdez is not happy Valdez, and it's not what you want to see from your ace. You want to see him happy. You want to see him excited. You want to see the franchise be all happy and all sorts. Supporting his teammates and things like that. So I expect a Framber outing like he always does, and especially it's going to be crucial because it's against the Texas Rangers, and they are trying to cut the games back in that division. Andrew Heaney, on the other hand, his last outing was versus Detroit, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. His last outing versus Houston, he did really good. 5 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. I will say this: Andrew Heaney has not had a good month of June though. He has been struggling. He has a 1-2 record with a 5.87 ERA. Opponent batting average too is 280. Great opportunity for the guys to get on top of him, just like how they did against Miles Mikolas. And well, no, they didn't against Adam Wainwright. They did a great job against him. So see that with Andrew Heaney because I mean Heaney, they've seen him a bunch of times since he was playing with the Angels. So why not do it again? And then Monday, like I said, Christian Javier, I'm pretty sure is going to be starting for the Astros. This is a 105 start time, not 7 o'clock. 105 start time. Javier 7-1 with a 3.72 ERA. My gosh, versus Martin Perez 7.3 4.28 ERA, and that is just shocking. Saying 3.72 because two starts ago it was 2.90, and this thing just jumped real quick, almost to 1. So Javier's last outing versus St. Louis, we talked about it: 4 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. This is another back-to-back start that Javier has only thrown 1 strikeout. But in his last 2 starts, 6 1/3, 12 hits, 0 earned runs. Nice, 10 earned runs, 6 walks, 2 strikeouts. Angel, what do you think, dude? I mean, is it the velocity? Is the command? I mean, what are you seeing for Christian Javier that doesn't look like 2022 Christian Javier? Nah, you're on mute, dude.
My bad, my bad. I was burping earlier. No, but I think you hit it right there when you said velocity. We've been talking about his velocity all season long. Last year he was about 95, 97. Now he's like 92, 93. I think his lowest at one point his last start was 91. And at this age in baseball, it's like if you throw 90, oh well, so what? But it's like 95 is the new 90, you know? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
these guys are throwing faster. And the way Javier pitches is he tries to overpower you with that fastball and then come with that slider or that sweeper you want to say, to get you out. But when you're throwing it 91 and 93, it's kind of hard to overpower guys with that fastball. So I think
Mm-hmm.
what's going on is guys are noticing that and catching up to that fastball. And
Yeah.
and you kind of notice these past 2 starts and a big number is that strikeout number that we've been seeing. And then it's that and command issues. But the thing is, well, I think I don't want to say command issues because look at his last start, 1 walk. The other start with that was 4 walks. So in this
No,
last start,
5 walks.
sorry, 5 walks, and then he had
Mm-hmm.
1 walk this last start. So I just feel like they're catching up to that fastball. I mean, what do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, when it drops to what 3 miles per hour, 2 miles per hour,
It's a
I'm
drastic
gonna say
change.
yeah. I mean, they're gonna. It's a big change. It's a huge change because this guy was throwing 95, 97 plus, could even reach triple digits if he wanted to. Now it's averaging 91, 93. Maybe you could get it to the 94 range.
Yeah,
And like you said, they're just catching up to the fastball now. It's not even a secret. Goldschmidt sent that ball to the stands when he hit his home run. It's very, I don't know how to say it. It's just hard to see somebody like this get hit that bad
I
because last
wonder.
year, I mean, it was
Go ahead.
so like, I mean, he was pitching so good, command was good, all everything. And
I was
now
gonna
that he
say.
just can't even blow the fastball through anybody now.
I was gonna say, do you think he's pitching with an injury or something? But it's been going on all season, so I wonder what happened. You think he's like trying to tough something out, or I'm curious to know what's that factor for that velocity change. Like you think it's
You
like
could
that
think
dead arm? Go ahead.
it could be because, of course, the Astros played till November, and then Javier participated in the WBC in March. So how many days you really got off for your arm to kind of recover? What,
Yeah,
about like December, January? Good 2.5 months. So um, it could be that. I'm not. We're just throwing our opinions. We're not saying facts or anything like that. It's just it could be the WBC, which, like I said, I'm all for WBC. I love the World Baseball Classic, but at the same time, too, I mean, I got to see the numbers in the WBC, what his,
yeah.
where he
I
was
should,
reaching at. It could be that. So we're just not too positive. We're not too sure. It could, like you said, it could be an injury that he's hiding, but if it is, I mean, hopefully it's not serious and he got I mean, it's not what you want to hear if that is going to happen, but we're thinking negative here. Come on now, we can't think negative now. But the guy we're talking about next is going to be Martin Perez. I mean, Martin Perez has pitched against the Astros a bunch of times too, from his days with the Red Sox and now with the Rangers. Last outing versus Detroit, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. His last outing at Houston was pretty decent: 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Thing with him, he loves this barnyard and Globe Life Field. He just loves it. He loves pitching there. He loves the new AC that they put out in Texas as well. At home, he has an ERA of 191 with the opponent batting average 225. Well, he's pitching away from Globe Life Field. 598 ERA, opponent batting average 312. So that is a dramatic, huge difference right there when you're pitching in different ballparks. But Angel, I mean, can you tell me how the Astros are going to find success against a pitcher like Perez, who's pitched very well at in Arlington?
Well, I think Martin Perez thinks that Minute Park looks like Globe Fields because I feel like he's had the Astros number no matter where they play, at Minute Maid um or in Arlington. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in order to get to Martin Perez, honestly, he ranks on the MLB percentile rankings. He's in the blue, which is not really good. The only time he's in the red is that barrel percentage. So he's leaving a lot of stuff in the strike zone for people to hit. His fastball velocity is not that great. Um, so what they actually need to attack is that sinker and that sinker and that cutter. So
Mm-hmm.
the cutter actually has the opponent batting average of 320, and his sinker is 259. That's the pitch he throws the most. But I feel like with Martin Perez's commands, so taking advantage of mistakes, like his changeup's getting hit hard as well, his cutter's getting hit hard, and his sinker's getting hit hard. So, um, for example, on the sinker, the average exit velocity is 92.1. So not that very
Right.
good. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So I would say take advantage of those pitches, take advantage of mistakes because he's going to leave a lot of them. But again, he's had the Astros number. I don't know what it is, but when Martin Perez comes to a pitch against Houston, no matter where he's at Minute Maid or in Arlington, he finds a way to shut him out. So it's just like trying to get ahead of him and take advantage of those mistakes.
I think he just loves seeing Omar Lopez and Jose Altuve. Them
Could be.
Venezuelans, they love
Could be.
each other. If you don't remember his freak trading, he did sing the national anthem for Venezuela, so I thought that was pretty cool
Yeah.
to know. But Angel, I mean, this is a series that the Astros are going to need to figure out.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
because if the Astros go here with the losing series, I mean, the Rangers are just putting the Astros away, and they're just running on top of the AL West. I believe that the Astros got to win this series. I don't even think a split should be considered. It just needs to be a factor that the Astros do need to win series. Do you think it's a must-win though series for these guys?
I think so. At this point of the season, yes, it's just 6 games, but that Rangers offense is legit, and I don't see them slowing
It
down
is.
anytime soon. Now, again, the All Star break can work towards it can be a blessing for some teams, and it can be like like I don't want to say like water, but like something that just turns off that spark. Um like for teams. So, but again, Seager's hitting. They have 4 All Stars in that team, offensive All Stars. Like that's how you know they've been firing on all cylinders. But I think this is a must win. This is a must win. Like this is a series that they have to take. What do you think? So we can't hear you. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
All right, how about now?
There we go. There we go. Hey, we got him back. He's been revived.
I've been revived. My headphones just died out. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think it's a must win. It's a must win situation for the guys. I mean, the Astros got to win this series because if you don't, like I said, the Rangers are just going to run away with it. I don't know if they play Texas again. I don't think so after this season. And
I
if
do.
they do, I believe it. And if I think if they do, they play uh,
Minute man.
at home at Minute Maid. So it's a must win series because you cut the deficit in half. I would say I think 2 games. If you sweep them, I mean what? That's
a game back, that's even better. But you got to win this series. It's a must, I believe.
Yeah, most definitely. But now it's time for our MVPs and our hot takes. Now I went 1 for 3. I had Bregman, Javier, and Astros will sweep the Cardinals. Well, Javier, you saw how that went. I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, you never bet against him, and you did,
Yeah, I did,
and
but oh
didn't
well.
go either.
It's baseball. But the Astros will sweep the Cardinals. They lost that first game, but Bregman, he did pretty good. I feel like the reason why I got Bregman's point, like it's like that game. You show up, you strike out 3 times, but you hit a walk off home run. That's basically for Bregman. He hit that uh, grand
Grand
slam
Slam.
in that last game, so I'll take the nod from him. So 1 for 3. Now my new ones for this week for this Ranger series, give me Jose Altuve. He's
It's a good one.
he was hot. He was hot. I don't even remember, but Jose Abreu and Jose Altuve were our MVPs for Game 2. So he's been producing. And
Yeah,
then Framber Valdez, think I'm aiming for a bounce back with him. Like Zoe was saying, usually when he has a bad start, he's upset and he's gonna put in the work to get back to be that ace that the Astros know he can be. And then my hot take for today, everybody knows that offensive dynamite that the Rangers have. They lead Major League Baseball in a ton of offensive categories. So my hot take is Astros will score more runs than the Rangers this series. It's gonna be a tough series, a lot of offensive, so the pitchers would have to be in their A game. So, but I can see it happening.
yeah. I think Altuve loves hitting against the Rangers too. Valdez, like you were saying, and we were talking about earlier, I think that's going to be a bounce back start for him because when he, like I said, when he's mad, he just doesn't look like he wants to be approached by anybody. But me, I think I did pretty good. I think I went 3 for 3 actually. Jose Abreu, I mean, like I said, had a great month of June. JP France, a fantastic outing from the stash himself, and then my last one being the hot take, being the Astros hot corners will have produced offensively than the Cardinals hot corners, and I think so. Like you're saying, Bregman with that grand slam, Abreu with the home run, a bunch of RBIs, Bregman with RBIs. I think they did outduel Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. So
Count it, count
hey,
it.
3 for 3. I love it. I love it. Let's go for another 3 for 3. This coming series against the Rangers. It's a weekend series, baby. Friday
Oh yeah,
night.
and I'm
I'm
sure.
pretty sure a lot of Astro fans are going to be traveling
I was about to say
to
that.
Globe Life Field. I feel like that's going to be a good game, well, good series overall to catch. So if you're going out there, stay safe. Here's my offensive MVP. I'm gonna go with Kyle Tucker. He looks like he's getting comfortable with them batting gloves on, dude. You put the gloves on, and next thing you know, he's just hitting in all cylinders. I think he's going to continue producing how he did against the St. Louis Cardinals and even at Dodger Stadium. I think he's going to continue on and ending this road trip on fire. My pitching MVP is going to be Ronel Blanco. Like I said, he already pitched in one hostile environment. He's going to have to pitch against the number one team in the AL West, being the Texas Rangers. And like you were saying, that offense is no joke. Josh Jung, Marcus Simeon, Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia. I mean, these are power.
Jonah Heim,
Jonah Heim. I mean, power
Ezekiel
hitters
Duran's having it.
on six. Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on. So, yeah, Ronel Blanco. I did give him that test, and I said this is a must for him, kind of like bounce back. And I think this is going to be another one kind of thing against the Texas Rangers. And then my hot take, and I feel firmly believe on this because the Astros have seen guys like Nathan Uvalde a bunch of times. They see Andrew Heaney. They've seen Martin Perez, a little bit of John Gray. The Astros will take 3 in Arlington against the Texas Rangers. 3 out of 4, I say that the Astros go out there.
Yeah,
It's
I like it.
possible.
I like it. Yeah, very doable. But I just thought about this as you were saying it. You know how Framber Valdez and Christian Javier starts are to be determined. Do you think Brandon Bila gets a call back up and then go to a 6 man rotation just to give
It could be.
Javier like a little breather and Valdez a little breather?
It could be. I think so too. I mean, because they've been on a road trip since the Dodgers. I'm trying to think if they. I think they did have a day off against
On Monday.
the. Yeah, they did have a day off. I don't. I'm trying to think if they're gonna have a day off for when they travel back to Houston. I'm
No,
not 100% sure. No, they're not.
no, because they play Tuesday, Wednesday.
Is it a 4 game
Again,
series against the Mariners?
yeah, Yeah,
Okay, so yeah,
because they play Thursday against Mariners.
so we could possibly see a Brandon Belak start coming in, or
Yeah,
even a bullpen game kind of thing.
and since he's in Sugarland, it'll be a good time to do it in Arlington. It's not that far of a drive. So, again, sorry, like I was just thinking about that. But yeah, don't be surprised if Brandon Belak gets a start either tomorrow
Yeah,
or one of those days.
I think it's a good idea for the Astros to do too, because I mean, like you're saying, these guys, I'm pretty sure, are taxed with a bunch of innings on their plate, and your starters are going to need some rest. I think Framber is going to pitch before he goes to the All Star break too.
Yeah. So,
So
well, they need the break. But let's move on to our newer, one of our newer segments, the over and unders. Now, we've actually been keeping track on this. When we
yes,
told ourselves a long time ago that we're going to keep track of our offensive being hot takes, we didn't. But on this one, we are determined to see who will be the winner from this to the end of the season. So right now I'm at 3, so it's at 6 because he got me that first one. But I think we picked the same things last time, so there's
yeah,
not
we
much
picked the
movement
same.
there. So let me tell you this first one. The first one is Framber Valdez innings pitch. You think he goes right now it's at 7? You think he goes over or under 7? In his last 4 starts, Valdez had 2 7-inning outings this June. So what do you think? 7 over or under?
I go over because I mean, like I said, I think we're going to see a mad, angry Framber. I feel very confident that we'll probably see something like that. Uh, yeah, I'll take the over on that. I'll do that one.
All right, I'm down 3, so I'm gonna go with the under. Now, this Texas Rangers lineup is legit. I know it, but I know Framber Valdez is legit as well. So it's
Mhm.
gonna be um, ready to go, right?
Yeah.
So what do you say, Christian
What do I say
Javier?
about what?
Like the next one, this next one. So
Oh, okay. You want me to read it, or you're going to read it? Because it sounds like you're telling me you want it or I want it.
no, like I was gonna read it. I was just telling you to be
Go
ready. I'm
ahead. Go
moving
ahead.
uh, for the next thing. So Christian Javier earned runs. Do you think he has more than 2 or under 2?
I can see more than two actually on this one. And it sucks to say that, but like right now, Javier, I don't know if it's like we were talking about the velocity, and then plus he might be pitching against the Texas Rangers, and that's a big juggernaut team over there, offensive juggernaut with a bunch of bats that are pretty damn good. So I'm gonna go over 2 earned runs.
I'm gonna take the over as well. Just to echo everything you said, right?
Hmm.
Texas Rangers are a hot team. They lead Major League Baseball in a ton of offensive categories. So, and then right now, Javier needs to show us that he can find it, um, like on the pitching side. So, yeah, I'll
Hmm.
take the over as well. The next one, Astros team home runs this series 4. Did they hit more than 4? Like they passed that margin this last time in St. Louis. So, but what do you say this time? Do they pat over or under 4 home runs?
Man, it's gonna be a pitcher's duel
Yeah.
on both sides, but I think and I could believe that they'll do over 4. I mean, they did pretty good in St. Louis and Busch Stadium. They did pretty good over there at Dodger Stadium. I expect the long ball to continue on at Globe Life Field. I don't know from
Yeah.
who, but I could see it happening.
Yeah, I'll take the over on this one too. The last time they hit less than 4 home runs was against Cincinnati. So um, I can see it happening. 4 home runs again. I do believe it's gonna be a pitcher's duel, but these hitters can hit too. So I'll do over 4 as well. Now the last one for this week: bullpen strikes out this series. Do you think they strike out more than 12 hitters or less than 12 hitters?
Mm, I'll go less on 12 on this one.
Okay.
I'll say that.
I'll go over. The reason for over is there's going to be a lot of high leverage situations this series.
Mhm.
So I think the bullpen will be used a little bit more, especially if there's to be determines in that rotation spot. So give me over 12.
It could be like you're saying. I mean, this we've already talked about, but this series that's going to be crucial for both the Astros and even the Rangers too. If the Rangers could continue on winning these games, they're just going to continue going ahead. But for the Astros themselves, if they're going to want to stay in the hunt for that division instead of thinking about the wild card, this is the part right here. This is the series right here to do it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But again, we don't want to take too much of your time, so let's move on to around the league. There's perfection. It's hard to be perfect, but there was
Mm-hmm.
perfection. A perfect
Mm-hmm.
game in the Bay Area. New York Yankees Domingo Germán pitched the 24th perfect game, the first one since Felix Hernandez, which was in August 15, 2012. So over 10 years. It's the fourth Yankees pitcher to throw a perfect game. The other three are Don Larson, David Wells, and David Cone. Now, this perfect game could not have come at a better time for Domingo Herman. Um, Arskina made an article that Domingo's uncle passed away recently, and that he
Mm-hmm.
has been, very emotional, which is common, whenever there's a death in the family. Sometimes it's hard to take. He was especially when he was like a father figure to him, and to be able to do that for him, for his late, like dedicate that perfect game to his late uncle, it's unbelievable. Um, I know Yankees and Astros haven't had the best you know relations, but sometimes it's just more than a game, and like these pitchers and players are humans too. So being able to do that, that's you know my hats off to Domingo Herman.
Yeah.
And then the Major League All Stars have been revealed. So for the National League, it's a DH. JD Martinez has made the All
Mm-hmm.
Stars once again. Atlanta Sean Murphy, I think there was no question about that one. He's
The
been on a
catcher.
tear.
Mm-hmm.
First base Freddie Freeman. Second base Luis Arraez, another easy one. I think everybody knew that one. Third
Mm-hmm.
base Nolan Arenado. Shortstop Orlando Arcia, and then outfielders rookie potential rookie of the year Corbin Carroll made the
Mm-hmm.
All Stars. Ronald Acuna was already nominated in there for the most fan votes, and then Mookie Betts. You know, shout out to Mookie though, because he can play. Like he's been an outfielder all his
Short
life.
and outfield.
Yeah, and those are two very distinguished positions, especially to play. But shout out to Mookie, well deserved as well. Now on the AL side, I think everybody was expecting this one. Shohei Otani for DH. He could possibly pitch as well, so look out for that one. Catcher
Mm-hmm.
Jonah Heim. First base Yandy Diaz. Second base Marcus Simeon. Third base Josh Young, another rookie having a good season. Shortstop Corey Seager. And then Mr. Randy himself in the outfield, Mike Trout and Aaron Judge. Unfortunately, Jordan Alvarez does not make it. He did not get enough votes for it, but I don't think he would have gone either way. He is still hurt. I don't even think Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Judge is going to go either way. He's still
Yeah.
hurt as well. So there's going to be a bunch of reserves because, again, players do have the possibility to opt out, but we'll see how it goes. And then it can't be an All Star game weekend without a home run derby. We already know Julio Rodriguez is participating in it, and now we have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. trying to bounce back. He is the second participant in the home run derby, and he hasn't participated in it since 2019. You got any words
Wow.
about that?
I'm glad he's doing it, dude, because he put on a show in 2019. That was a rookie too
Yeah.
at that part. Him and Pete Alonso.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm glad to see him. I'm glad to see Julio doing it too. Actually,
You think Pete Alonso does
hometown,
it
not
again?
hometown, but uh, dude, I think he will. I
I think
feel like since
he's just a
Vladdy
competitor,
joined,
dude.
I think he'll do it again. Juan Soto has to do it because I feel like he has to because he won it last year. He has to defend his title some way somehow. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, could be.
I mean, who would you like though to see? Besides the guys we just named right now, who would you like to see?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say low key Shohei Otani put on a show.
I'm trying to think if he's ever. I don't think he's ever
No, I
done the
don't
home
think
run
so.
derby. Hmm,
No, I think he'll put on a
that'd be a
show.
good one.
Maybe Randy Rosarena, Ronald Acuna. Just to name a few. You know what? Matt Olson. I think Matt Olson puts on a show too. He has that
Yeah,
natural lefty swing. Is it
shit.
that strike out of
He's
homer?
he's on top. He's on top right now, I believe, in home runs
Well,
for Major League.
Shohei Otani passed him up for the National League. Yeah, he's on
Oh, well,
top.
nationally, he's on top then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, but you know what? If Jordan wasn't hurt, I would say Jordan Alvarez for sure.
Nah, he needs to get healthy. I think that's every Astro
That's what I'm
fan that
saying.
wants to know.
If he wasn't hurt, if he wasn't hurt.
Even if he was in hurt period, I don't think Astro fans would want him to mess up that beautiful swing of his. But
True.
that is all for our show. Continue to look at our podcast platforms from Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Look on that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us at Full Steam Ahead at Twitter and at TikTok. And then, of course, like we said, we have our new Instagram, FSA Full Steam Ahead. We will be doing a giveaway
Look
today,
out! Look out!
Friday. So look out, look at your Twitters, look at your other social media platforms. We'll let you know how to enter and we'll let you know how to win. If you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. I think it's a good prize. I think everybody would like it. Who doesn't like it?
Especially when it's free.
Especially when it's free. Yeah. So, hey, Joe, other than that, anything else to say before we go?
No, thank you for listening. We have some big things coming again. Again, last time we told you that we came out with the live version, like with the recorded version on Face of Full Steam Ahead. So look out, big things coming. We're not
Yeah,
kidding.
something major's coming, probably major,
Ooh, ooh.
maybe,
I like
maybe.
the little hint.
But that's it. We will talk to y'all at the conclusion of this series. Hopefully, Astros win this series, come back home, maybe 2, 3 games back. We'll have to recap it after the series against the Texas Rangers. We'll talk to y'all later.
Peace.